Good evening and welcome back. Tonight we are going to add a pickup cover to the neck pickup in this 2005 Gibson Les Paul 1960 reissue. So I'm going to do kind of like a Jimmy Page style on this. I've already had the pick guards removed and the poker chip. Other than that, it's all original. So we are going to go ahead and do that, and I forgot to run out to the mailbox, but I do have some brown back plates that I may either use on this or my Silver Burst because it's being relicked like a 1979 Adam Jones. So not sure which one I'll put those on yet, but let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to try to attempt to do this without cutting the strings because I literally just put all these strings on it, brand spanking new, and it's only been played a couple times. At my church, I let one of our guitar players borrow it for, I don't know, a week or two. So I'm going to try to attempt to not destroy the strings because there's no point in wasting $8 worth of strings if I don't have to. So we're going to zip this off. Let's see what happens here. I should be able to do this. But yesterday we did the pickup covers on Kevin's Les Paul Standard. That turned out really nice. If you guys want to go back and check out that video. It had the rubbed finish on it, very vintage looking, beautiful AAA flame top on it. Only bad thing about that is because it's a rubbed finish, it doesn't jump out at you like a clear gloss does. But nonetheless, it looked really sweet, way better than the zebra pickups looked in it. Alright, so I should be able to snake that out of there now. I guess instead of setting them there, I'll get my little tray. That way I don't flip the guitar over on them and put a scratch in it or something. My luck, I'm careless. Don't pay attention a lot of times, and then I end up screwing myself, so I'll try to avoid mishaps. I tried to get everything together before I started the video, but I just realized I forgot one thing. I always forget something. I got 3 of these silicone mats. Keep solder from melting onto something by accident. All right, so there we go. We got it out successfully without cutting the strings. Now I just got to take the pickup springs off. I've never had a guitar with just one humbucker covered either, so kind of want to have one. I do have this for sale up on Reverb, so I'm going to have to end the listing and repicture it after I'm done and modify the details because obviously I am putting pickup cover on it and it is not in the listing, so go ahead and just back these pole pieces out so they make it beyond the pickup cover and they don't get trapped underneath of it, because then I'd have to desolder it and screw around with it. So try to save myself some headache here. I really wish YouTube didn't copyright everything because it'd be nice to play some music and listen to some jams while I'm doing this, but unfortunately it has to be stone quiet in here because YouTube will demonetize and whatever they do for playing copyright music. So I'm using brass steel wool on this because it doesn't cling to the magnets. If any pieces are left behind, they don't rust. I also use this for boat stuff because if you're steel wool and stainless steel on a boat and you get little flakes everywhere, they rust and they stick to the boat and it looks terrible. Did I put tape in this? Nope. I gotta put tape in this. See, I forgot something else. I'm always forgetting something. So a lot of people will take the tape and put it across these metal poles down here. It's unnecessary to cover these metal poles. It does absolutely nothing. The whole reason that you put anything on there is just to keep the cover tight against the pickup so it don't vibrate and give you feedback. That's the whole purpose of this. And I've seen people take a candle and melt wax on it and then grind it down. I've seen people put silicone like this right here. When I got my 1976 custom, it had the original T-tops that came with it, and they had DiMarzio super distortions in it. So if you go back to my previous videos, you'll see that. I took these off the original T-tops. They put these really cheap gold covers on it, and they siliconed them on and soldered the crap out of them. So I had a lot of work to get those things off and not screw up my original T-tops. And then I had Lay's put the original pickups back in and do some work to the neck. And long story short, I ended up trading that for a 2015 Gibson Les Paul ES gold top with the humbuckers, like the one I had with the P90s. So that is no longer here. There we go, perfect fit. Pole pieces came out nicely. I'll just throw a clamp on it to make sure it stays nice and tight while I set the solder. And hopefully the solder gun's warmed up. I did plug that in before I started the video, so I didn't have to stand around and wait on that. And then this is resin core solder. I do have some vintage resin core solder with lead in it. So I'm saving this for when I work on vintage instruments, because back then they used the lead solder. So I try to keep things as correct as possible when doing things. I am no expert at this stuff. I am just doing this as a hobby. Eventually, someday, I'd like to make a living out of this and become more knowledgeable about guitars and everything. But right now, just a hobbyist, and I stick to Gibson Les Pauls and Gibsons in general, so I'm familiar with that. I tried to dabble with Stratocasters before. I don't know, I've probably had 6 or 8 of them. Mexican ones, Chinese ones. That was my first American one over there, the 83. For some reason the solder doesn't really want to stick to this, so let's get another clamp in here. Squeeze that, because I don't want any solder rolling down into the windings, even though there is tape around it. Why take the chance of having it go down in there? And you don't need much, you just need enough to hold it in place. Try to get that to flow a little better there. Yeah, see, that's all you need right there. It's just enough to keep it there and not fall off. If you've seen how much solder was on the gold pickups that I took off, man, that was just crazy ridiculous. Guess I'm gonna switch this around so I have a more open area to work with here. And again, we just want to put enough on there to make sure it holds it. Alright, I think that's it. Let's see what happens here. Yep, that's not coming off. So I successfully got the pickup cover on. Now I need to get this back on. And if you watch my previous video with Kevin, it took two of us to get this back on, but then right towards the end of it, on the second pickup, I figured out if you get this thing smashed in like that, and then get the screw where it needs to be, and then use the pickup ring to push it down and hold it, should be able, I didn't switch it to the Phillips. Of course not. There we go. So if you hold it like that, hopefully it will start. And it did. And then the second one's a little easier because you already have one in. So again, just take the spring, shove it up the screw here. Use your fingernails to really, oh. Yeah, this is a pain in the butt. Let me try this one more time here. All right, screws where it needs to go. Use the pickup ring to push it down. And we got it started. I'll get it kind of eyeballed as far as the height setting for now. This says HB in the neck here. It's not a long neck tenon. I don't know if they had long neck tenons in 1960 or not, but if they did, then this is not a correct reissue. And when you put the screws back in on these pickup rings, you just want to take it until it stops, because if you crank down on it, you're gonna crack it. Or you could even warp them. You just want to make sure it's flat against the body and to the point where it stops, and you're all done. So this is a pretty quick and easy way to modify, upgrade your guitar, make it look cooler, different, whatever you want to say there. I'll go ahead and adjust these pull pieces back down so they're not sticking way up. Alright, I guess I'll leave that like it is for now. And we'll try to get these strings back on. And that's probably my dad blowing me up. so he can just wait a minute. Get all the strings on the bridge. Now the nut. There we go. It's not tuned up, obviously, but I think that looks way better. I really like that. What do you guys think? Comment below. Does it look like a Jimmy Page? I got one pulled up here. Oh, and it wasn't my dad. Yeah, here we go. So this was the look I'm going for. Obviously I don't have a flame top, but that's a Jimmy Page guitar there. And there's a bunch of variants of colors and tops on them, but it has the covered pickup on the top. And does that one have the bridge like mine? No. So this is a 1960 reissue, so it has the plastic saddles in the bridge there. But yeah, I think that looks really good. It needs a dusting off now. But there it is. 1960 reissue. Gibson Les Paul Classic. This is a 2005. I can't remember what it had in it for electronics. I have so many guitars come and go, I can't keep track of them anymore. So let's go ahead and just zip this off. Because when I run to the mailbox, I'll lay one on here, or the brown back plates, and see how it looks. I may put them on this. I think that might look cooler on this than the Silver Burst. Okay. So it has the little tiny, I don't know what you call those. They're not orange drops. They're little discs. I got the real big ones over there. It's basically the same exact wiring harness that we're getting ready to put in my dad's guitar. So he got the 490R and the 498T. We're going to put those in a black Les Paul Standard. And here is the pots and the input jack, and it's got the same discs in it, little orange discs. So we're getting ready to put this in his black Standard, so stay tuned for that. I guess we're all done with this. I gotta tune it up and decide whether if I'm gonna put the brown plates on it or not. So I'm gonna run to the mailbox and grab those before I tune this up and put the back plates on it, because like I said, I don't know if I want to change them out to the brown or not. But really happy with that. I like that a lot. That really changed it. It just didn't look right with two black pickups in it. My dad is a real big fan of naked pickups. A lot of his Gibsons have naked pickups in it, and the zebras. At that, he really likes the zebras. I like them, but for me, myself, I like covered humbuckers like there on a 345. Somehow I ended up with every guitar that I own had naked pickups, and all the collection that I had prior to this, they were all covered. So it's neat to have different variations of things. So yeah, when I come back in, I'm just gonna tune it up, adjust this pickup a little bit, and decide what back plates I'm gonna put on it. But we are going to also go to my dad's, and he's got like 35 guitars and I don't know, 7, 8, 9 amplifiers. And I'm going to bring them all here to the house. Well, not all of them. He's going to keep 4 Gibsons and a Fender acoustic and 1 amp just to pick around at the house. But you're going to see a huge pile of guitars here in the next day or two. So stay tuned. We're going to go through those one by one too and check all those out and all the amplifiers that are coming. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned. We are going to do a lot more projects. Thank you guys for watching, and till next time.